Well, the Barboza fight, you got clipped. Was it third round? The beginning of the third round, you got clipped with that wheel kick.
Yeah.
That recovery was amazing, though, man. That's an amazing recovery. I mean, Barboza puts people out with that shit, and your legs completely gave out. But man, that's a weird moment, right? Where like anything, if he wasn't near you, right, where you could grab a hold of him and take him down, if he just stepped back a little bit, interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was still there. You know, I never went away. And I think a lot of, even the way I moved, when somebody showed me that video after, I cracked up. I was dying laughing because when I'm in there, I don't know what happened, you know. I see the video and I see my legs just go.
Did you see the remix
dance.
that somebody did with the music?
There's a couple of them, bro. They pretty good, though. I've been laughing along to them all morning.
Well, because you won. It's funny.
It's funny while it lasts.
It's funny, yeah.
But I think a lot of what my focus going into this one was really on my footwork, my balance, you know, doing yoga. I've been dancing too a little bit.
What kind of dancing?
Some ballet and salsa. Yeah? I mean,
I've heard a lot of guys. Look, Lomachenko's his dad had him enrolled in dance for 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Traditional Russian dancing, and he credits that for his footwork.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been doing it for a short amount of time, but still, I can tell right off the bat. And I think a lot of what you saw there was that, you know, when I looked at before, the only other fight I've ever got dropped in or hurt seriously was the Leonardo Santos fight, and really it was me dropping back on my ankle, and I broke my ankle in that fight. So when I tried to stand back up, it looked like I wobbled and that's why John McCarthy stepped in. So a lot of what I focused on was the balance. So when that equilibrium gave off, and I saw 4 guys in front of me. I'm just like, let me just keep my eyes on this motherfucker right here.
It's crazy because you think of how hard Barboza is usually to take down. It was very fortunate that he was right there for you to grab him because he was trying to move in for the kill.
Yeah. I mean,
if you were his coach, you would have been screaming, "Get the fuck away from him!" Right?
Honestly, his coaches was not doing him no favors during that fight. I felt bad for the guy. To be honest,
what do you mean? In what way?
They could have did him better. I probably could have put him away in the second round, but he was panicking, and I could see it in him, you know, and his coaches like caused him to panic a little bit more. You know, they just kept screaming at him the time, like, you only got 2 minutes to survive.
Right.
And I was like, let me not, you know, Barboza's a nice guy. He really is. And, you know, I didn't want to hurt him too bad. So,
just 2 very similar fights for him in a row.
Yeah.
2 maulings, in a row. That's, when you're that guy who wants to stand up, and, you got guys that are just constant pressure. I mean, people don't realize how much endurance that takes to move away, too. You're moving backwards. It's a lot more difficult to do.
Yeah, true. I mean, I feel like everything kind of pushed. You know, it's about who controls the pace of the fight. Yep. And I feel like I did a good job of that. And, I thought even after I got wobbled with the kick in the third, I still came back. And
you won the round.
Yeah, I tried to make it a point to finish standing.
Other than that moment, you won the round. And you hurt him bad in the second round, too, with a kick to the body. Like, you could see him cover up and tense, but you could see it. It was a strong right kick to the body.
One of the reporters, he asked me, like, why was I standing at range with him? And it's just like, I feel like I can do it all, and that's my true sense. It's like, I can stand at range with I mean, he's definitely the most explosive, dynamic, all those things that you want to say, the best kicker in the lightweight division. And I can stand at range with him and kick just as well with him. And I can wrestle with the best wrestlers. I can kick with the best kickboxers. I can punch with the best boxers. So why not test myself? I'm not one of these guys who shy away from shit.
He's an interesting case because he's really primarily a kicker. He will throw punches, but that's not his strong suit. I mean, he's not a guy that just wants to, just dig in and throw bombs.
Yeah, but he got some bombs.
I'm sure he's got some bombs, I'm sure.
He hit me with that left, and he hit me with a monstrous left hook in the 5th round. I was like, man, he's still there. The kid, he never gave up. He was taking a beating. He hit me with a monstrous left hook. So I gave him one back and bust his orbital up pretty good. But, he was still there to the very end. He can box, too. He's got some power in his hands.
Yeah, and the cut was a pretty nasty cut. Pretty nasty cut over his right eye when they stopped the fight. Were you shocked that they stopped it?
Nah, I thought it was the right call. I think more coaches in MMA should definitely get in there a little bit sooner. I think that's what some of my problem with his corner was too. You see some of these fights and you can kind of tell when a guy just doesn't it doesn't make sense to make him take more beatings. Not
Right.
Somebody like Barboza is explosive to the very, very end. You have to give that to him.
That's the thing,
But
you never know, right? I mean, if he connected with that left hook perfect and you went out,
And then
he's a hero.
Yeah, then I guess you look like the asshole. But
Right.
I don't know. It's a thin line to cross.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. You don't want to be there when your guy's getting beaten up like that, and you have to make that call.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe I'm just speaking from because I'm not a coach yet. Maybe my stances will change when I am a coach, but or if I ever coach, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's different with. I mean, the same thing with referees, and Keith Peterson did a great job in that fight. He's a guy that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah,
there's a few like. Herb Dean, I think, because John McCarthy's retired, I think he's the gold standard. Josh Rosenthal. There's a bunch of really good guys, but that's a tough call to decide when to stop.
I think even Yamasaki, Yamasaki takes a lot of bullshit, especially from Dana. Don't like him at all. He hate that motherfucker. But he does a great job in there. Even that fight where he let the girl take a lot of punches, a lot of damage, she was still moving. She was still showing that she was in the fight. I think you got to put that on her coaches and her trainers. They know that if she's really in there or not.
Yeah.
Some guys are just too tough for their own good, like Barboza.
Well, she was fighting Valentina Shevchenko. She just shouldn't have been in there. She just shouldn't have been in there. It was her first UFC fight, and she's fighting a woman who's just a straight up assassin.
Yeah, and it can't be on the ref. You can't put it on the ref to know that,
Yeah.
or to make that call. The ref has to be completely, not objective at all. I think it's got to put it on the coaches. They should know. Yeah.
What weight do you walk around at?
About one. If I'm completely just kind of like bullshitting, doing whatever, I've gotten to as high as like 195.
Now, when you're in training, like when you get, like say you're 4 weeks out, where you at?
85 usually.
185?
Yeah, 85.
So you're cutting a lot of weight, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Do you see yourself ever moving to 70 or?
No, not 70 necessarily. Just because those guys there, at that point you're talking about a frame issue.
Right.
You got guys that are like 6'1", and they're just... It's a different body style. I train with a lot of them high level welterweights too. It's a different body style. I'm more suited for 155. It's just some of the things that I got to play around with. I think will keep happening in the upcoming months. I didn't project that I would fight again until July or so. So a lot of the things that I was doing diet wise was kind of getting to that, and they approached me with this Barboza fight maybe like 8 weeks earlier than that. So I just had to do what I had to do.
So is it a matter of just you didn't taper off quick enough, or you just came in too heavy before you started?
It was just the timing wise. You
missed it by 1 pound.
Yeah. It's something on that timing that I've really got to figure out, and that was the biggest problem with the Tony Ferguson fight. I can break it down for you. So usually, I'm normally about 185. Through 6 weeks of diet, I can usually diet down to about 76, 77. Like, that's where I'm optimal. And then from there, I start the water cut. So the week of the fight, the Tuesday, I'm 76. I save that all the way until, I overload my body with water and, flush out some of the sodium and the carbs and all that. I save the rest of that up until the day before, and I try and cut as much as I can because I want to spend as little time dehydrated as possible. And I think that's some of the problem with having these early morning weigh-ins is the timing issue of it.
Because you wake up and then you have to start from the time you wake up, rather than if it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon like it used to be, you'd be able to do it all throughout the day.
Yeah, I can cut more, reasonably through the morning.
So
you can wake
feel
up
like if you had more time, you would have been able to make it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
so
my
it's
body
just a
was...
time thing. I got confused when they were doing this early morning weigh-ins. I thought you had like from 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock to make it.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought if you weigh in early, go ahead, weigh in early, but they gave you the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really... I don't really know the solution either. I don't think nobody really knows the solution to that problem, the time frame, because you are seeing a lot of guys miss weight because of that, and I think that's one of the biggest problems. Not only that, but guys are going to sleep completely dehydrated and sleeping through the night 20 pounds dehydrated. That's a lot of water coming from your blood. Your blood gets thicker, your heart rate slows down when you sleep. I mean, I try my best not to spend as much time dehydrated as possible.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just a timing issue on that last one especially.
When you see guys like Dos Anjos that just can't do it anymore and he goes up to 70 and he looks better than ever, what do you think about that?
It's always an option for me. It would be an option now. Like I would entertain the right fight at it for sure. It's just right now at the state of it is, they're doing this bullshit interim title, and Tyron's sitting right there, and it's a lot of movement. It's not a lot of movement at the top right now. So 155, just more fights interest me. It's bigger challenges. I think the guys are honestly better at 155.